Hey everyone, it's Grant here. It's been about 2 and a bit years now since I started my Etsy store, and I started a secondary Etsy store about 9 months ago. And I've realised since then a lot has changed. And I get a lot of comments on my videos about how do you set up a shop, show me the basics. And I looked at that 2.5 years ago, but as I said, lots changed. And there are some new people. Etsy's become even more popular. So I thought I'd go back to grassroots, and this video is all about how you would set up an Etsy store, step by step, frame by frame, really simple. So without further ado, and that's enough waffling for me, let's get straight onto this video and work through an Etsy store setup.
So let's get right into it. First thing to do is visit etsy.com, which is the homepage which all sort of consumers worldwide see. But we obviously want to set up a shop, so we need to go down to the section where you're selling. So scroll right down to the bottom and you'll see sell on Etsy. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to register as an account. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling, you'll still need to register for an account. So that's the first thing we need to do. And you can do this by clicking open your shop. And when you click that, it'll ask you for an email address. So you'll need to put in your email address there. That can be a Google account, Facebook, or through your Apple ID. And you will need to verify that email address at some point as well. Click continue and it'll ask you for your first name, which you need to type in, and then you need to put in a password. As with everything these days, it will be a certain type of password, and it wants you to be a strong password. And then click register. So we're registered, we now need to open our shop. So it's basically the same thing again. Now we're registered, we need to go back into open your Etsy shop. So this is where it now becomes a bit more regionalised. So you've got your shop preferences, and it does run into 5 sections, which is shop preferences, name your shop, stock your shop, which are your listings, how you'll get paid, and set up billing. So I'm in the UK, but 90% of people will be English as the language, which you can't change afterwards, so it will need to be your first point. Shop country, so where do you want your shop to be listed? Obviously that's your location. Etsy is a worldwide platform, so you'll get lots of options there, but I've selected the UK because that's where I'm based. And your shop currency. This has no relevance to how the customer purchases. So I am in Britain, in the UK, so I'll select British pounds, although if you're from the US, you will still be able to buy from my shop, but they'll just be converted to American dollars, USD. But if you're obviously in America, that's where you select. Final part is just for information purposes what best describes you. And that's I'm selling part-time, and that's how I like it. So now I have to name our shop. First thing we do is enter in our shop, all one word. It doesn't matter if it's multiple words, but it needs to be one word or phrase with no special characters and no spaces. And then check availability. I would suggest that you think about your shop name before you come to this point, just to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. If you're looking for a jewellery store with gemstones, you might do jewellery gemstones or something similar to that. And you just simply type in your word up to 20 characters, and then it will check the availability. Either click availability or give it a few seconds and it will check for you. This one, diary downloads, is unbelievably available. I didn't think that would be the case. But what I'll do is I'll also just show you what happens if it's not available, and therefore the actions or steps you can take. So let's just put in downloads. You'll see it's not available, but it offers you many different options there. A lot of Americanisms in there, but it also tries to take in your name and your location. You'll see downloads by Grant, downloads United Kingdom, and it'll offer you some suggestions there. So let's just try planner download, see if we can find that. No, not available, but again, it offers you some suggestions and options there. Planner download store, planner download by Grant, all relatively good suggestions actually. But let's go with diary downloads because actually I can't believe that's available, so we'll go with that. And then we go to save and continue. You'll notice on the left hand side, it reconfirms the details that you've put in. So it's United Kingdom, English is the language, and GBP pounds. If you were in America, it would say US and then dollars. So stock your shop. Essentially, this is your listings. It does say you have to do 10, or it suggests you do 10 or more. I know hundreds, if not thousands of people that started off with one item. And for me, the best thing to do is just to get started. So I would say, if you've got more than one, great. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Just put the one item up and then come back and add more or do something at a later date. For now, it's about getting your shop open and actually adding that listing. So you just click add a listing and then it will load up the listing page. Now the listing page will ask you a variety of information, and what I would suggest is that you think about this prior to starting your shop. As a bare minimum, I would say you do need the image listings, or the listing images should I say, which are the images to represent your listings. So here we are on add a new listing, and you will see there it loads. The first part is your photos, where you can add up to 10 photos. All they do suggest it's 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels to be the right dimensions and resolution, and it gives you some suggestions of what it should be. Good tips are use natural light and no flash, and use common object, include a common object for scale. So if you've got a jewellery, you put it around the neck, you see the scale of the jewellery item. If it's a ring or a scarf, drape it around the neck to see what the scale of it is. And that is really important when people are buying physical items that sometimes can be quite a lot of money. So let's add our first item, our first image, should I say. I've already got a few here. And again, these are planners. So you'll see I've got 3 images here that I can upload. When you click upload, it does the little loading icon, and it will take a few seconds depending on how big your image is. And that'll upload for you. What you'll notice is it also has an automatic thumbnail for you there, and it's warned me that my images are not 2000 pixels wide, but I think they're good resolution, so we'll leave it there. What you can do, if you've got a problem or an error, you can just click the little delete icon, and it will delete the little bin, and it will delete all your items or all your imageries, and you can start again, clicking and selecting the images once again. If you need to reorder your items, you can do. Just simply left click on the image and then drag it to where you want it to be. As simple as that. And you will also see it will adjust your thumbnail. And your thumbnail is the image that the buyer sees when they do an Etsy search. So if we go down to adjust thumbnail, it'll automatically center your image. So if your image is bigger than the thumbnail, which 9 times out of 10 it will be, it will just center it for you. However, what you can do is you can click adjust thumbnail. After it loads after a few seconds, you can then drag it round to get the placement correct. And you can even zoom in and out. And what you've got to remember is this is what the buyer sees. So it needs to provide as much information as possible without being too cluttered. Also remember the size of the image. The detail within it has got to be a decent size. If you've got any text, you need to make sure that that image can be displayed correctly. I've actually changed my mind on this one. What you can see is this other image here. If I just drag it there, here we go, and upload it, change it. You'll actually see I've got some key selling points, some USPs, unique selling points, which are UK and US sizes, instant download, black and white, so it saves you toner, and JPEG and PDF format. So those are actually quite important, and I think that would be really good for the customer to see when they're doing a search. So I'm just going to scale into that slightly and adjust that correctly. And then when I've finished, I just hit save, and there we go. So that's our images done, and also our thumbnail. Videos were brought in towards the end of last year, actually, 2020, I believe. A great option for you. It's about portraying the images. So if it's custom made, if it's a big item, as in, I've seen wooden benches, the workmanship that's gone into it, especially if it's a higher value item, you need to really reinforce the cost. Why is this £100 or $100? And that's when a video can really bring it to life. And it also shows the workmanship that you've put into that item. And I think that's really, really key. You can even go to places like Canva and use slideshows with your video narration over it as well. Down to the listing details, mandatory field or a mandatory field is title. And as it says there, include keywords that buyers would use to search for your item. Now, what we're trying to do here is pick key phrases, which are essentially 1, 2 or 3 words, either separated by a pipe or a hyphen or a comma, that explain your product. So here we've got daily planner, downloadable planner, UK planner, instant download would also be a good one. Again, you'll see instant download planner, you'll see it's separated by a comma. And it will count down. So I've got 61 characters left. And as you see, as I'm typing, it's counting down. For me, really important to use all the characters. So let's put some more in there. A4 planner, A5 planner, black and white planner. And so it goes on. And it needs to make some logical sense. They're not just a random mishmash of words. That will come in the tag in a second. So once you've done that, the next part to look at is about my listing, which is really key. Again, another mandatory field that we need to include when adding our listing. And you'll see there's a little hyperlink to about what type of items are allowed if you're unsure. So who made this item? I did, or it could be a member of your shop, because you can set up a team on here. We can talk about that in another video. What is it? Is it a finished product, or is it supplied to make things? So sometimes you'll see there's items like jewellery, again, go back to that example, there's stones and parts like that. So it's items that you supply for the customer to make their own item. So that would be the supply of items. This is a finished, fully fledged product. Digital planner, so it's a fully fledged finished product. And the last one is, when did you make it? Either it's made to order or it's set back in a date. People are now selling vintage clothes and that sort of stuff, so that's also important. Category is really, again, mandatory field. Just start typing away and it will suggest. 9 times out of 10, the first suggestion is the correct one or the most appropriate one. Just a note, you can only add it in one category, but it's also subcategories of. You'll see there the words underneath. So if you select stickers, it'll also appear in paper, stickers, labels and tags, stickers. But let's go back, and calendar and planners are the most appropriate. Colour, optional, but I always like to select it. It's used on the left-hand side of when a customer uses the Etsy search. On the left-hand side, they can introduce colours. So this is a white planner, and there's also a secondary colour of black. Occasion, not relevant for this planner, but if you're selling cards or gifts, then you can add an occasion, again, used on the left-hand side of the search function. Renewal options, I always leave mine to automatic. You are charged every 4 months a renewal fee or a listing fee, which is 20 cents or 14p. Leave it at automatic, I would, or you can set it manually. If you leave it as manual, you have to go in every 4 months and then automatically renew it. 20 cents or 14p isn't a lot of money, so personally, leave it as automatic. Whether it's a physical or digital item, as it says on the tin, very simple. And now we've got the most important part of your listing, which is your description. I'm going to just put in some information here. This is not what listing should be like, but I'm going to give you some bare bones. So a title, it's got to make sense. Very key to add dimensions. When you're selling something digital or physical, people want to know how big it is. Can you relate that back to a size? So this is an A4 planner, an A5 planner, a US letter. Or it could be centimetres or inches or metres, wherever it might be. Delivery, very important. This is an instant digital download, so put that. But if you're selling it, so it's a local sale, you're only delivering locally, put in there about the delivery. Is it free? Is it not? Look at the delivery charges. Dispatch the same day, so people know you're going to look at it the same day and dispatch it. How long is the delivery going to take? If you're selling internationally, don't forget, Etsy is a marketplace to offer international worldwide shipping. Then say it. We ship internationally, but please allow 5, 6, 7 days. Just making sure that people know what the expectation is. And that's very, very key when it comes to selling anything online. A big thing at the moment is eco-credentials. So if you've got something like a scarf, is it man-made fibres? Is it recycled fibres? My digital planner is great because you only print it when you need to. So you save on paper. You're not buying a whole diary or a whole planner. So try to add some eco-credentials. And finally, questions. Don't forget, if people don't know the answer, the chances are they will go elsewhere. So put it in there. If you've got any questions, reach out to me, contact me, and that might save a few sales. Again, reiterate, if people have a question and they don't feel they can answer it, or ask it, should I say, they will just go elsewhere. Production partners is fairly irrelevant. It's if you're doing like print on demand, so it's not needed for this one. But you can add a production partner if it's being outsourced in terms of production. Sections are essentially categories. So you can categorise the items that you've got. Please remember that you can only have one category per listing, but you can add multiple categories. So this one's going to go in planners. I could add diaries in there. I could add lots of different things. I could subsection it into A4 categories or A5 depending on size, and you can always change those thereafter. Tags are very similar. You get 13 of these. They're very similar to the title. The difference is you can only have 20 characters. So digital download planner won't let me do it. Click add and it will say no, 20 characters not allowed. So you have to make them short, succinct, and when you've got each one, you click add. Very much like title, use all the 13. Try not to repeat the same words. If you've got digital download or A4 planner, don't do A4 planner size, A4 planner, A4 size. Try and keep them fairly unique if you can, but think about what people would search for. Materials I hardly use. They're not using the search. They're using the search filters, but not actually in SEO. Price, very important. It's pounds here. If you were in America, this would be dollars. So I'm going to sell mine at £1.49. There's no delivery here. It's an instant download, so there's no worries about that. Quantity, I've got a limited amount. It's digital, so 999. That's perfectly fine. Personalisation. So if you've got an item that can be personalised, you toggle the switch to on. You put some instructions, so that could be please enter the name, and then you put it on there. This is a digital item, so it needs the digital file. So I'm going to upload the JPEG, the PDF in A4 and US letter sizes. If you get it wrong, you can always delete it, a bit like the images, by hitting the recycle bin and then re-upload it, which is very simple. And you can have up to 5 digital downloads on there, which is all you'd need for most items. When you finish, just click Save and Continue, and you'll come back to your stock, your shop, and there's your listing. You've got the options to delete it, which I'm not going to do. I've spent a lot of time doing that. And then you've got copy. So if it's a very similar item, then you can copy it, and it copies the bones or the information around that listing, so you can almost duplicate it. But don't forget, you've got the options for variants. Save and Continue. You're going back to how you'll get paid, probably one of the most important things. So there's 2 options here: individual or sole proprietor, or an incorporated business. Now this will change, I believe, based on where you're located in the world. But for me, I'm an individual sole proprietor, so I go down to the information about myself, and I'll select my country of residence. I'll enter my first name, my last name, and date of birth. This is not my date of birth, so don't worry about sending me a birthday card on New Year's Day. And then we select the other information that it needs, which is your home address and where your bank is located. And it confirms that your payment will be made in Great British pounds. So it doesn't matter, again, how people pay you. If someone's in America, they've bought your item, it will always settle in Great British pounds. Enter just a fake address for now, just so I can get past that. And then it's going to ask where they should send those funds. So after it's done its working out, Etsy's removed its fees, which I'll come to in a second. Where should that money go to? And then you just enter your bank details. On, I think, just UK, I don't think this is anywhere else in the world, but it then sends you a very small deposit to your bank account just to check that information has come through in terms of payment, and that will take 3 to 5 working days to appear in your account, and then save and continue. So now I get to the setup billing. So it works out how you're going to get paid, but also need to set up a credit card or a card to pay the Etsy fees. But it does a settlement. So income, if you've got made £10, you have to pay out £8. You'll just be given £2. So don't worry about that too much. So it's £14 pence, shall I say, a listing, or 20 cents. And there are several fees. There's your listing fee, charged for a 4-month listing. So if it doesn't sell after 4 months, you'll be charged again. a transaction fee of 5%. So if you sell it for £20, you'll be charged £1, and also on postage. So if it's £20 including postage, it's £1. If it's £25 including postage, you'll be charged £1.25. And there's also a payment processing fee of 4% and 20 pence. Once you've added your card details, success, your shop is now open. Obviously, I haven't shown you my card details because obvious reasons. So here's the shop. We've got our shop name at the top, diary downloads. You can see our listings sitting there with all of our sections on the left hand side that we set up. Here's my profile, there's the listing, and those are the sections. Now, if we're going to edit shop, there's just a little bit more that you'll need to do just on this basis. Always add a location. I think that's helpful for people to know, especially if you are selling internationally. They kind of want to know where you are. It gives them an idea of where it's coming from. And they might be looking for something that's UK based or based in America. So just find your location and click save. Then a short shop title, which will appear on the Google preview, as you see. This is not the greatest title, but it should be added, and I'll just add something here. So we'll just say a great place to buy digital planners, and then save that. That appears on Google. And then a logo is really important. Get some branding in there. It's got to be 500 by 500. I've already got an example logo sitting here somewhere. It's got to be 500 by 500 pixels. So that's not too small. And you can use Canva and things like this, or use a Fiverr person for this. Once you've uploaded it, you can crop it to get the necessary information in if the image is too big or you want to crop it down, and then click save, and it will instantly appear. Announcements are really good because it allows you to announce new products, new sections, either you're having problems, could be delivery issues, or let's just say in here, congratulations, you've found my shop. And you can update that as and when you want to, unlimited changes, there's no cost associated to that. Then you've got other bits. These are really important. Video, again, is a bit like the listing, but this isn't about the listing, it's about your shop. So this is you putting yourself in front of customers and saying, why buy from me? This is my passion. This is what I've wanted to do. This is my dream. And that can also be portrayed in images as well, should you not be comfortable with video. You could also add that in a text-based format. Again, if I was you, I'd add a video, add images, and add that as well. And that'll give you all the information you need. And then you've got your options for Facebook, Twitter, Insta, website, Pinterest, and blog. And then literally that's all you need to do to set up your shop. That's been a very, very quick run through of how you can use your shop, or how you can set up a shop on Etsy. And I will do more videos at a later date, giving you further details of how you can enhance your listings, add new listings, look at Etsy ads, marketing options, integration, and more about payment. But that's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification icons, like this video, and comments down below. And I do try to reply to as many as I can. And thank you very much for watching.